Hello, fellow Hyruleians! I am your guide, the Hyrule Historian, and welcome back to another action-packed episode of the Legend of Zelda, the Wind Waker Randomizer, where we are training to become better at combat since we haven't really been doing much lately. And when it comes to combat in Wind Waker, we kind of lack the training. So we've been training here on Forest Haven, and since we have finally talked to the Great Deku Tree, he has given us a very important task. A task that we will be completing within this episode. And you may be wondering, what task is it? Well, we are going to become the new Postman of the Great Ocean. And the best thing about this is, we can go ahead and complete most of this right here. So, our first thing was to get a letter from Maggie. She wanted us to deliver this to the Forsaken Fortress. Well, we are able to do that right now. And, okay, that went by a little bit fast, but we have to pay 10 rupees since it is quite dangerous to send things to the Forsaken Fortress. However, in return, we would have gotten this letter from the Moblin. But something else that we would have to send is the letter from Mom, since she wanted us to deliver something, and that was one of the things that was in the Dragon Roost Caverns, which was technically under the ocean. Since that was something kind of interesting, since we went underground and there was clouds there. So, if I can go a little bit slower, yes, this one, in fact, is 10 rupees. So, yes, I will pay that since we're at least helping out Mom. But that is 2 letters down. And the last letter for us to really send is, well, we get to deliver that ourselves, and we get to go visit Maggie back on Windfall. Since at the time, we are actually going to be able to get one or multiple key items within this episode. One being Feyor's Pearl, which will finally allow us to go to the Tower of Gods. However, we are not sure if that's going to be the Tower of Gods. And because it's been a while, I don't know what is going to be up here. Come on, Blue. But yeah, it has actually been a while since I've last recorded, and I believe, yes, we have been here, so we will leave these sunburned bokoblins alone. However, though, the other key items that we need is the command melody, which will help us within the Earth Temple and the Wind Temple. Then, of course, our main thing that we need is the Deku Leaf. And then the bombs and the Skull Hammer, which we need the bombs to enter the Forsaken Fortress, and the Skull Hammer to help us through the, I believe it's the Wind Temple. And we can also use that to enter about 2 extra fairy fountains. So now we are going to be finally able to go visit Maggie once again. And the camera is still disoriented to me. I feel like that's been happening a lot when playing some of these older GameCube games, having to get reused to the camera. But now we have a Rito talking with the greedy old man.
Honestly, you just don't understand, do you? Open up your ears.
Silence! I'm telling you, postmen are not allowed here. Be gone, be gone.
Don't be ridiculous. I went through great trials and tribulations just to make it to the Forsaken Fortress and return with Mo's letter.
Silence! Be gone, be gone.
At least can you be reasonable and sign for this letter?
Silence! Be gone, be gone.
Just acknowledge I was here.
Silence! Be gone.
Foolish man, you are making me very angry. I cannot even look you in the face anymore. Or I fear I might. I must go somewhere to cool my feathers.
Well, well, a wretched, unruly postman. I don't know anything about any Mr. Mo from any Forsaken Fortress, and yet he always comes bringing me those letters. Does that Mo think I will let him lay a hand on my one and only daughter, Maggie? I don't care whose letters they are. They'll never reach her on my watch. Okay then. Well, normally at this point we are supposed to go and talk to the postman. However, because we already have the letter, the old greedy man himself is kind of blind as a bat. 'Cause even I am a postman. Postwoman. Is that? Could it be the letter from Mo that I saw in my dreams? Let me read it this instant. This is Mo. This shows you how moblins can actually write. They can communicate. They're not just brutes. However, I think she's missing the bigger picture here. Did you hear that? Those words. This means... it must mean... Can it be? Is this his marriage proposal? Sorry, Maggie, I just think you're a little bit crazy. You're actually just talking nonsense now. But thankfully, you have given me the skull hammer. Okay, so... Maggie is really useful, but really blind. She gave us the Earth Temple melody, or the... I think it was the Wind Temple melody. And we needed the Skull Hammer for the Wind Temple. She also had the Skull Hammer all of this time. So we will mark that. And we will continue. You know what? No. I take this back. The hammer must have been with Mo's letter, because he comes from the Forsaken Fortress. That is also where you find the hammer. So, Mo took their most valuable treasure to give to Maggie, not knowing that I would be delivering the letter, and Maggie didn't have a use for it, so in return she gives the hammer to me. However, I did just realize she has rubies and, besides the weird bunny ears, but yeah, she must have gotten the rubies some other way. I don't remember the rubies her wearing those rubies. Anyways, we can now see what the postman will give us, since he had to go and cool down and had to go get himself a drink. Hello, postman. I am a fellow postman as well. Postwoman, what will you give us? Anything useful?
Oh, it's you. I'm sorry that you witnessed me flying off the handle at Maggie's house. I'm most embarrassed. That man just... Never mind. To tell you the truth, I came to deliver a letter addressed to Maggie from a moblin named Mo. However, as you've seen, her stubborn father would not permit me to give it to her.
Yeah, stubborn or not, if I heard the word moblin, I wouldn't let her have it either. However, I've already gave it to her.
I have an idea. That old fool may not permit postmen on his premise, but surely he would allow you in his place, would he not? Could you deliver this letter to Maggie in my stand?
Well, I've already delivered it, so that's already done. However, I will take my payment. You've been carrying this all this time to give to Maggie. I mean, I would applaud you for taking this from the Forsaken Fortress. So, I believe that is the top piece. So, congratulations. You've taken a piece of the Triforce from Ganondorf, most likely, and you have delivered it to me. If people keep on giving me all these items, this means I don't have to go to the Forsaken Fortress. But, watch, it will be my luck that the Deku Leaf will be there somewhere. But now, it is time to leave Windfall and make our way somewhere new. To the west we shall go, because if we head west, we should soon come across Cyclonus, which we can finally knock him out of the sky. Unless I'm forgetting that we may have already done that. I don't think we have. However, his cyclones do appear within certain areas. One being right next to Mother and Child Island. And here it is. And there he is. To yourself. There we go. 3 hits. The magical number. Just look how giant he is compared to Link and the King of Red Lions. It's just, wow. That's a heck of an arm you got there. And it shrinks down to our size. And what an eye. No one's ever been able to spot me in these before now. You obviously have mastery of the air. And now that we've established that you're quite the Wind Waker, let's see if you can handle this. So Cyclonus is teaching us the Ballad of the Gales, which allows us to teleport. However, in return we get 50 rupees since we've already known it. Whoa! In the hands of a Wind Waker, like you, my adorable little Cyclones, will be as happy as can be. If you need to move like the wind over the ocean depths, just call on my Cyclones. Well, I guess I'll head for home now. See you on down the road. So, my question is, where is home for him? Also, I think we'll still max on rupees. Because we have just stopped Cyclonus, we will now be heading to the Great Fairy Fountains, since Maggie has delivered us the Skull Hammer. And one of the most easiest... Okay, well that just showed up out of nowhere. Heart, please. Red, where are you? There you are. Red, I'm drowning. So, the easiest fairy fountain... Wow. Seriously? Red, you need to stop running into things. They're throwing me off. So, as I was getting to, before Red keeps on running into exploding barrels, the fairy fountain that we can easily get to is right up ahead, since it is the West Fairy Fountain. And we may as well go ahead and pull out the hammer, since the hammer is going to be a lot more useful than the bow, for at the moment. Ah, the Western Fairy Fountain. All we had to do was smash a giant tack into the floor. However, before we go into the fairy fountain, we have Mel. Yay, Mel! What could be waiting for us? Good morning! Letters for Blue. We have one letter. To my son's superior. Oh wait, is this from... what's his name's mom? Thank you very much for looking after my boy. This isn't much, but I hope you will accept it all the same. I politely request your continuing kindness towards my son. Beto's mother. Holy crap! How many people just carries random pieces of the Triforce around with them? Surprised that Ganondorf hasn't found these pieces yet. I mean, I guess he had one, but the Postman took it from him. So, what piece is this? Kind of looks like the bottom piece here. Yeah, I'm going to say the bottom piece. Awesome! We are getting some progress done within this episode. So hopefully you guys are still enjoying this, since now we get to see the Great Fairy. Young Waker of the Wind, allow me to aid you in your quest. And let me blow cherry blossoms all over you. And give you the treasure chart 11. Sure, I knew some treasure charts would show up sooner or later. However, I have found one use for the treasure charts. They do still contain heart pieces. Fairies in this fountain will revive you if you ever become low on hearts. Goodbye, young Waker of the Wind. Well then, there's one fairy fountain out of the way. So, after a slight issue of finding the Big Octo, we have made it to the east side of the Great Ocean to go and visit the Fairy Fountain of the East, which we are getting quite a good bit of progress done. I have also remembered that the bow and arrows can also destroy the cannons within or within the platforms. So our main thing that we are going to do now is destroy that, and we are going to have no issues with chews these days. So, 2 great fairies, 1 episode. What will this great fairy grant us? Yay, more cherry blossoms! This is still why Blue's hair is pink. Yes, 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 thank you! Awesome, yes. Guys, we have finally got it, the Deku Leaf. This is worth it. It is about time that we found a good key item. 2 key items, 1 episode. We have the hammer, which allows us to make it through the Wind Temple, I believe. And then the Deku Leaf. We can now finally make it through the Forbidden Woods and Dragon Roost Caverns. Or I should say the underwater caverns, but still. We have finally got the Deku Leaf. I think this is what the Deku Tree wanted us to do all along. Deliver the letters. We would get the hammer. At this point, there are a few places to go with the hammer. That would have been the Great Fairy Fountains, and the Great Fairy would have had the Deku Leaf. It all goes around in a full circle. This is amazing. Another good thing is we ended up getting 2 pieces of the Triforce. So, yeah. We got the Deku Leaf. We got the Deku Leaf. Face me, fairies. I will blow you all away. So guys, I am going to end this episode off here. This has been the Hyrule Historian. If you have enjoyed this episode, please do not forget to smash that like button, smash the subscribe button, and don't forget to leave a comment down below. But besides that, this has been the Hyrule Historian, and I will leave you off here and see you in the next episode. Thanks for watching, and later, guys. Yay, the weirdest outro ever. Leave you later.